This is another episode of the Assignment on Benefits podcast. And this is the mini bite sized one where we talk to executives and talk about their companies and collapse it down to a bite sized format so you can get a feel for who they are, what they do, how they do it, and why they do it. So today I'm talking to Craig Stack from Truepic. Craig, welcome.
Thanks so much for having us, Nick. Appreciate it.
Okay. So Craig Stack, start all of these off. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm the president and founder of Truepic. We are a technology company. My background is actually in the finance space, but we came up with the idea for Truepic just about 10 years ago. And we started the company back then. It's been a wild ride, but a great one. And that's who I am.
Okay. Not a startup anymore, right? Like you've matured. So let's rewind the clock back. Why did you start the company? What did you see? What problem was out there that you thought you had to solve?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this dates all the way back to 2015. And the premise back then was really that seeing is no longer believing when it comes to photos and videos on the internet. I was not smart enough at that time to think about Gen AI coming, 7 years later
And making your problem worse.
and making the problem way, way worse. This was a problem back then. It's obviously, as you can imagine, it's gotten worse over the years. Now with Gen AI, it is just a J curve up and to the right. Just the ability for anybody to create hyper realistic photos and videos for free and at scale. But back then, when we started the company, it was still a problem. It was a smaller problem, but it was a problem. And so we built camera technology that can prevent this problem.
Okay. Let's start with the evolution. Like, how did the camera technology need to work in the early days? And then walk us through how it's had to evolve to handle the J curve.
Yeah, great question. So a lot of companies try to attack this problem through detection, meaning that they will try to detect after the fact if a photo or video has been edited or manipulated. From day one, we thought that this was a fool's errand / impossible. So we took a different tact. We went all about the provenance of the photograph, meaning high level, if we can ensure that the capturing device, so the smartphone or tablet, has not been compromised, right? So it's a secure device, and we can force the user to capture a net new photograph or video within our app. Then we can run the image through all of our fraud detection tests and sign and seal all of that data into the image file itself. And by doing that, we've controlled everything from A to Z, right? And so we know that it was a new image from today captured on a secure device, and we can control that capture experience. And so by doing that, the provenance enables us to generate 100% authentic photos and videos for our customers with verified metadata. So think time and location.
Yeah. It's still using potentially, we're in insurance. So I'm thinking where most of the fraud occurs is at the claims side. So using the claimant's instruments, but using your app so that you can create security around that and capture the metadata and essentially be a validation or verification on, yep, this was the location, this is what was captured. And then you run it through a particular set of technology to verify the pixels.
Yeah, amongst other things. So I would say a couple of things. We do not just claims, believe it or not, we do a lot of underwriting as well. And so carriers will use us on the front end, often to replace third-party boots on the ground inspection. So think about when Nick goes to get home insurance, the carrier used to put a guy in a truck, drive him to your home, walk your home. Instead, they can push our camera technology directly to Nick the insured, and Nick the insured will click on a link. It opens up into our app, branded for the carrier. It is a customizable walkthrough. So it tells Nick the exact photos, videos they want captured, any questions they might want answered. So now Nick is doing the inspection. And the beauty of this is it's done much faster. Our inspections are typically completed within 1 to 2 days of them being ordered. It's a fraction of the cost, and it's a much better experience for the insured. Right? No insured wants a stranger with muddy boots coming to their home and walking around. You're going to do this inspection. It's going to take you 5 to 10 minutes maybe, but you're going to do it when it's convenient for you. Maybe it's before you go to work, maybe it's on the weekend, whatever it may be. So we do a whole host of work on the front end with underwriting. That's not just home. We also do auto. We do a lot of personal articles. So think jewelry. And then you're absolutely right, Nick, on the back end with claims, we do a lot of work. So think FNOL. You've got a loss, you call it in. The carrier wants to get verified images and videos at FNOL
Yep.
from the insured. And once again, that betters that customer, that insured's journey, right? For the carrier to be able to say, hey, Nick, we're so sorry you've got water damage. We're so sorry you're in a car accident. We just sent you a link on your phone. Take a look, start snapping photographs. We'll get working on your claim right away. That just up levels that insurance experience to a level you can't imagine.
Is there a possibility if you're engaged with a carrier or MGA or whoever's underwriting, you've captured some photos, and then there's a claim, is there a line there as well where it's like, hey, wait a second, things are different here?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And we hear that all the time from SIU. SIU basically says to us, man, if we had you on the underwriting side, you wouldn't even need us. If you knew had verified photographs of that Rolex when he took out the policy, when he files a claim that he lost it 6 months later, he probably really lost it. He had it. He was in possession of it. It was real. We have the receipts and the appraisals, all that good stuff. So yeah, there's definitely a line from underwriting to claims.
Yeah. So you mentioned auto. We've been discussing personal lines. I would guess there are commercial applications. It's just a little bit different what that journey looks like.
Yeah, good question. Commercial, it really depends on the use case. There's a lot of supplemental inspections, that we help with. If it's underwriting a big commercial building, we're probably not the right solution. You're probably going to want an engineer in there that's fully scrubbing the HVAC system and whatnot. When it's smaller properties, when it's a restaurant, a bar, a franchise, we can be really helpful with those sorts of underwriting as well.
Yeah. Let's rewind back to the early days.
Sure.
When did you know that, yeah, we're creating value? Like when did you know either the feedback or something else where I think we're on to something here?
Yeah, you can imagine when you start a company like this, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of, we've got $1 billion business one day, and the next day you think you're going bankrupt in the early days. And it's just an emotional roller coaster. And I don't think we're unique in that capacity. But I would say back in 2017, our first customer was a very large insurance carrier that focuses on jewelry. I'd say they're the kind of big fish in that pond. And we saw right away the value that we brought from their current underwriting process, which was filled with customer friction and not effective. And overnight, we were able to up level that. Like I said, from that customer experience, the cost savings, the speed savings. They're still a customer of ours today, called 7-8 years later. They're growing year over year. And so that first customer really was the shot in the arm that let us know, hey, we've got something here. As an aside, we've got about 26 or 27 issued patents. We're backed by some pretty big names in technology, Microsoft, Adobe, Sony. So along the way, we've won a lot of awards for our tech. So there's been a lot of validating factors along the way. But I would say the very first one was signing that insurance carrier.
Okay. We're gonna end this, Craig, with help us peek around the corner. So AI in just a very short window of time has changed our lives around what's happening. I tell people, just wait till quantum computing comes in. That's going to disrupt it anymore. But anything that you're seeing or any advice around like this AI change and what's happening and how we as insurance professionals should be thinking about this. And it's from a Truepic expertise. What are like common mistakes or common best practices? It's listen, you better sharpen up because in the next 2 years, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, kind of hit the punchline right there. These are early days. This is 1998 with the internet type of thing, right? So we're in the very first innings of this game. Every time they up level that model, which is averaging about every 3 to 6 months, depending upon the company, that is the worst it will ever be, right? And so they're already creating videos and photos that are basically indistinguishable to the human eye, and they're only getting better. And a lot of companies and people, I don't think they've fully embraced what's happening and the rate at what it's happening. And candidly, it's difficult for the human brain to really conceptualize this, but you want to get out in front of it now, because if you wait and you wait 6 months to 2 years or whatever, and you bury your head in the sand, you're going to be so far behind the 8 ball. And there's going to be, unfortunately, a lot of pain that's probably going to come with it. That pain could be a massive uptick in fraud. That pain could be a lot of customers leaving you to go to other areas, that other competitors that are offering better, faster, cheaper products. So you have to lean in. This is not something that's going away, and it's only going to get bigger and faster.
So I said that was the final question, but you answered it in a particular way where I got one more question. What
Yeah.
is one way to lean in? Like, what's a leaning in? Yes, with investment, but if an executive is from an insurance company is listening to this, how, if you were in their shoes, how would you lean in?
So self-serving and shameless plug, we're here to help on the underwriting and claim side. Like I said, we are saving customers a ton of money. We're getting the carriers the information they want and need, sometimes within minutes of them requesting it. The beauty of it is it's 100% authentic and verified, right? Gone are the days of where you're crossing your fingers and you're saying, I hope this is a real photo. I hope this person's on the up and up. Crossing my fingers, this isn't a fraud ring. We give you that confidence you need and you want. And then we're also letting in, so many carriers really care about this. We're letting that customer experience and journey just go to the level where it's expected. In today's day and age, you touch a button and you have a car, you have food delivery, you have Amazon, anything you want. And I hate to say it, a lot of the insurance protocols are behind the 8 ball and they're just lagging. And we give carriers the ability to give that customer experience that they expected in 2025.
Yeah. Craig Stack, president and founder of Truepic. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Nick. Appreciate it.